join me in welcoming a very special speaker, Poonam Jha, with a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Poonam, it is yours.
Ashish. Thank you, Darpan. Okay, so in parallel, there is LinkedIn's potential masterclass going on by Jaideep, which is in Startup Trek, followed by Manoj, and Dhrumil is presenting about scalable AI-ready Flutter apps. So take a moment and quickly switch the tracks if you wanted to attend anything else at this time. Or maybe I can make it a deal. If you are going out, send one person in and we are good. Because I know that these people equally worked really hard and they tried to add the value in this session. So anyone wants to switch? No? I'll take it as I love you, Poonam. Thank you so much. All right. So half of the world believes that designers are artists. I'll just prove it. Let me know if you can hear this. All right, let's see. Guess the tune if you can. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Can you sing it as well? Can we give her a mic? See, I can't ask somebody Nida did a great, critical, cool job that she just made everyone clap for her and everyone else. So why don't you do it for her? Can you please sing?
कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं.
Or it was the same tune of Achyutam Keshavam, right? All right.
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरं जानकीनाथ नारायणं वल्लभम्.
आप मुंबई आ रहे हैं.
Actually, I am singer.
Thank you so much. So good to have you here. So no one is switching tracks? Right? Okay. सर मुझे लग रहा है ना मेरा टाइमर बड़ा पहले ही 10 मिनट काट लिया गया है. मैं तो अज्यूम करके चल रही हूँ मेरे पास 10 मिनट एक्स्ट्रा है. No, I'm not creating slides right now. Oh yeah, okay. My manager says in all hands call that I make him a better manager. So that gives me confidence that I do know something that I should present in DevFest Ahmedabad. With that confidence and that same nervousness, myself, Poonam Jha, I am a senior product designer at a company based in SmartShift. We are in SAP ecosystem. We work with custom code transformations. Primarily, बहुत सारे patents हैं हमारे. And I want to ask you a question. Do you think building good products can be done without designing it well? Right? Maybe you can see instead of just nodding. You will only feel good. Yeah? So it's a big part, right? You all agree that designing is a critical part of building a good product, right? So that's what we'll be talking about today. Design thinking for product teams and beyond, basically everyone. And out of hundreds of people who fill in the proposal to present at DevFest Ahmedabad and thousands of people who show interest to attend DevFest Ahmedabad, I think me and you share a very incredible opportunity to be sitting here, standing here, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you so much for being here and joining this session and the event. And I hope you will have a bunch of things to take back, not just from the session, but throughout the day. I'll start with a story that made me a better designer. Have you been to Himachal Pradesh? Magical place, right? For the story, I'll keep this picture here so that you can imagine the entire story with that in reference. This picture is from Bir Billing, which is very famous for the paragliding sport they do. Imagine a lady in a remote area of old Manali opening the door, and there is a postman standing in front of her with an envelope of 6,000 rupees demand draft that she has been waiting for 6 months because she purchased a product, it was defected, she raised a claim, but the product was done on cash on delivery. And this is back in 6 years, like 6 years back, where COD was an option, she purchased a phone, wrong product delivered, she raised a claim because she was genuine, she had proofs that it was wrongly delivered. The claim got approved, and now she's issued a demand draft. But the demand draft is getting expired just like 3 kilometers before reaching to her place, saying it is not reachable for courier partner. Now the question that hits me hard, if you can deliver the product, how could you not deliver the refund? That's not fair, right? So the only option she had was, calling customer support, asking for number of times, hey, I got the wrong product, I raised complaint for it, it is approved. It is already approved, you don't need to do anything, just send me my money back. But, the customer support teams, right? They have the script. They repeat it, they tell you the timelines. Ma'am, it will take 24 to 72 working hours, 7 working days to get the demand draft issued and delivered and blah, blah, blah. So she was fed up listening to that. One day that call landed to me, and she was extremely frustrated that day. I don't know, I'm thinking maybe my communication skills did some magic, but she started the call saying straight away that, hey, I don't want to listen to your timelines again. Can you please transfer the call to senior manager on the floor? And because I'm trained that I cannot transfer the call to senior manager without listening to the customer, I told, ma'am, can you give me one moment? If you do not want to express the concern, give me one moment. I'll scan through the previous service request, the remarks that our teams has written after your call, and I'll see if I can help you. If I can, I'll ask for the moment, but give me one more chance, and I'll see what can I do. So can I please put your call on hold? She was like, do I have any other option? I'm like, yes, ma'am, please, thank you. Give me one moment. And I did that. I did what I thought I can do at that time. I scanned through the call. I heard that she has been complaining for it since last 6 months. She got soap instead of a phone that she purchased for 6,000 rupees. And that day she received that demand draft. So imagine the joy that lady would have felt. What I did differently as a customer support executive, I called the courier person and I continuously followed up, and I assured that lady that I'll keep you posted every day what is happening on your demand draft delivery. I'll tell you if it is stuck, if it is moving. I'll tell you if it is expired, and I'll follow up with the courier person reminding them, see, if you can deliver it. It is just 2 kilometers from your post office. Can you please do it? So that they will have a constant reminder, and you will have a constant update what is happening on your query. Do you think I did good? Right? So I think I did good, because that day when she received the demand draft, she asked that call landed to someone else, and she told that person, can you put the call on speaker, and asked everyone to clap for Poonam. So I think I did something good, and that made me think, imagine the product does not have customer support team. There is no way you can reach out for help. There is no way you can raise your queries. Everything that you need to do it is on the UI, but do you think you can do it without any manual interaction? No one speaking to you, right? I'll leave you with that quote, and we'll move on to the next thing, which is really funny and sarcastic. The kind of product team we should never be. And this is that segment what I call, I'll not be speaking again, but we'll balance that. So read it at your pace. If I'm moving slides faster, do tell me. And let's read it all together. Should I slow down a bit? Are we good? So sorry. That's it about this. Did it feel like a reality check? Do you also go with your gut feeling and build something? Without validating, is it something even someone would find it useful and use it? All right, so that's my goal, that by the end of this next 30, 35 minutes, whatever we have left, we'll try to answer this question. When your leadership or your product leader comes and says, I want to get 4+ star rating in our app, give me a plan for it in a month. Is that a good goal to have to attend a session like this? Do you think something this is relatable? Right? Everyone wants 4+ star, right? So that's the goal of the next 30 minutes conversation that we'll have. What is design thinking? Anyone has any idea what is design thinking? Don't give me AI answer, just give me asli insan answer. No idea? Oh yeah, but you are a speaker, so I'll not count it. Any idea what is design thinking, or am I having the best audience for this talk? No one has any idea about design thinking? Really? Yes, sir. I think you can be a little louder. I'll not take it. He's saying that literally 2 parts, merge design and thinking. That's even worse than AI example, sir. But thank you for saying that. It is a little bit of that, but the definition is a very easier one. Yeah. Anyone? No idea? I cannot hear you if you're speaking something. Sir, that is design system. Are you a developer? Okay. That's design system, what you said. That's pretty much what design system is, when we try to build the consistent UI. No idea what is design thinking? Oh my God, any designers here? Now you'll be shy to even raise your hand after saying you don't know design thinking. Yes, sir. You're a designer, what is design thinking? You can take mic, I think it's closest from you. I'm very excited, and you're a designer, right? Yeah, high five, don't disappoint.
No, it's not like that. Ideate, prototype, brainstorm.
Yeah. Why do we do it?
To find a solution for the. Any
Is
problem.
your mic not on?
Hello. Hello.
Yeah. Now say.
Hello.
अब बोलिए.
हाँ, किसी भी प्रॉब्लम का सॉल्यूशन ढूंढने के लिए इट्स काइंड ऑफ अ प्रोसेस we follow, like define, ideate, brainstorm and stuff.
So there are the phases of design thinking. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank God. Thank God you were there. You're a speaker, ma'am. Speaker को नहीं देना चाहिए ना तोहफा. Thank you. See? Public की सुननी पड़ती है. So I think everyone knows design thinking. I'll tell you why. How do you choose gift for somebody? अब इसका जवाब अगर नहीं पता, तो 20 साल से आप कर क्या रहे हैं? हाँ? Exactly, right? You know the person, you think about them. Then you think about what they would like. What are their dislikes? What is your equation with them? Right? If you are choosing a wedding gift, if it is a friend who stays very, very far from you, you would want to give them something that reminds them of your friendship, right? Something that gives them comfort, right? So that's exactly what design thinking is, where you think about the person, user in this case. You think about their routine, you think about their comfort and discomforts, you think about how quickly they would be easy to take on something and use the product. अगर हम इस पे बिजनेस और प्रोडक्ट का लेयर लगाएंगे तो वैसा ही कुछ बनेगा, बट उससे पहले एक बहुत बढ़िया सा डेमो देखते हैं कि डिज़ाइन थिंकिंग क्या कमाल की चीज़ है.
Let's look at a few success stories where design thinking has helped transform lives in rural India. Jeevan Bindi. In India, millions of women suffer from iodine deficiency, which can cause goiter, breast cancer, and pregnancy issues, especially in rural areas. While there are pills and other forms of medication available to correct iodine deficiency, the hesitancy to use Western medication has proved to be a major roadblock. Singapore-based philanthropic organization Grey for Good set out to find a solution to this problem. As iodine can be absorbed through the skin, Grey for Good came up with the idea to use bindis to administer iodine. Neil Vasant Medical Foundation and Research Center, under the brand name Talwar Bindi, developed bindis that serve as iodine patches. Hence the life-saving dot or the Jeevan Bindi was born. Jeevan Bindi delivers 100 to 150 micrograms of iodine by absorption through the skin. Aram Help Desk. A huge number of students in rural India come from poor families that cannot afford to buy school bags and other necessities. They mostly have unfurnished classrooms where students sit on the floor for hours and work without any desk. Aram, an NGO that works with marginalized families in urban slums and villages, began working on a solution to make desks and school bags accessible to students in rural India. They needed a solution that was low-priced, easy to assemble, served as a desk and bag, and was made from recyclable materials. While volunteering with Aram, Sanuri Gomez realized that cardboard boxes can be re-engineered into low-cost bags that can double up as desks. Thus, the Aram Help Desk came into being. The Aram Help Desk is manufactured by a team of 20 youth in Satara, Maharashtra, and distributed to children across the country. So far, 1.5 million students have developed from the Help Desk. Another example where design thinking has helped save lives in rural India is the Embrace Infant Warmer. Designed to reduce infant mortality rate in Nepal, the Embrace Incubator is essentially a small sleeping bag with a paraffin-based pouch that keeps babies warm. All these examples highlight the success of design thinking in saving the lives of millions across India.
This video says that design thinking is not only to build software or design better software. It can be used to design better processes, application, services, anything, not just the interface part of software. I have a bunch of stories and case studies that would make it more clear, and you will have more clarity on how can you build something or design something better. And we'll go through them one by one. So design thinking is a human-centered approach to problem solving, as he said, and to approach a problem and innovate, prioritizing needs of a user. What your user needs. Just like the Jeevan Bindi example we show, right? The constraint was women in rural India were not so comfortable with Western medication. But iodine deficiency is there. So the challenge we have is to reduce the deficiency so that we can save them from disease like cancer. But the parallel fact that we will have to use, we can't ignore, is they will not be comfortable using Western medication. But the supporting facts we can use to reduce the deficiency, that how can you administer iodine efficiently? It can be administered through skin. So when you observe their routine, when you observe their entire lifestyle, that what are the constant in their routine? They apply bindi every day. So you may not come up with bindi's solution in the very first attempt, but gradually after observing and validating with them, speaking to them, can this be easy? Will it be easy for them to will it not make them feel, oh, ye to dawai kya angrezi dawai leke le aaye. So something that does not break their comfort. So again, the point is we center on user need. We do not ignore that. We do not go with gut feeling. We do not use CEO button there. And the process is iterative. A lot of people hate design thinking. They think it is one linear process. It is not. Sometimes you will feel you need to go back to the first phase, which I'll tell you next. Airbnb का full form पता है? ये पता था, डिजाइन थिंकिंग नहीं पता था. हाँ जी, फिर से बताइए. Air, beds, and breakfast. Thank you. So yeah, so a founder's quick note on how, do you guys know how Airbnb was built? Why they started it? अच्छा मौका है मेरे पास. कहानी नहीं पलट रही, बस शॉर्टकट कर रही हूँ उसका. So जो फाउंडर थे Airbnb के, उनके रूममेट को किसी और सिटी में शिफ्ट होना पड़ा and the rent got higher in the city where he was living in. So now he needed to find, I do not want to feel lonely and I also want to save some money. So can I like ask someone to share a room with me or stay with me and then I can make some money, right? But the challenge is, so that guy was a bachelor, maybe he would be comfortable for a bit. But imagine if we try to expand the use case here, will you be comfortable sharing, asking a stranger to come over at your place and stay there? In your own home. It's not a hotel, right? It's your home. So that's a constraint there. So how do you cater to a host need, a user need, which is a traveler need, and how do you cater it building a platform? So Airbnb के पास ये advantage है कि they can personalize the whole hospitality experience. Every home can give you a different experience. Some would focus on aesthetics, some would focus on the traditional part of that city. बनारस के हर Airbnb का vibe ही अलग है. So that hotels cannot do. But Airbnb can do it. So the point is they tried revolutionizing hospitality part. They tried revolutionizing travel industry in a very, creative way. But did they come up with this in a very first attempt? Of course not. So the founder is a big fan of design thinking. They have like bunch of videos and articles written on design thinking. I think you should definitely check it out on YouTube. You'll find some really good readings about it. So again, summing up, how do you let a room to somebody? How do you ensure that the person coming to your house is not going to make your house discomfort or will not destroy it? So when you try to book an Airbnb, the host gets a good amount of time to confirm that do they want you to stay in their property. Between this, they have a very solid fraud detection system. They check everything about that host and about that guest. Is there any suspicious activity on their name? They'll not let that person stay there. So that's how they ensure that the safety is there, the trust is there. Netflix, they started with DVD rentals. You guys would have heard about it, right? But DVD rentals में ये होता है कि पुरानी movie आपको देखनी है. I'm forgetting names, but yeah, दोस्ती करके वो पुरानी वाली दोस्ती मूवी देखने, अब उसका DVD रेंटल मिल जाए, लेकिन क्या सबको मिल जाएगा? And हम कितनी बार उसके लेट फीस मिस कर देते थे, राइट? ड्यू फीस. तो हाउ डू यू सॉल्व दिस? आपको DVD रेंटल्स में आपको वो एंटरटेनमेंट व सिनेमा रेंटल्स में जाना है, लेकिन हाउ डू यू हेल्प यूजर टू सेव देयर लेट फीस? How do you basically enter in the industry in a way that user would find it useful and you can easily be a part of it? So they started by, you ask for a movie and they will deliver it to your post box, the house in front of you. And you ask for it, they'll monthly keep on updating it, and they started on monthly subscriptions, and now they make their own content. And if you are seeing it recently, have you felt that you are watching a movie on Netflix and the movie ends and suddenly the next movie starts and you feel, oh my God, ये खुद तो मैं ढूंढता, मुझे मिलती नहीं इतनी अच्छी movie, but that movie was so good. So the recommendation system. So the way they utilize your the statistics, the data behind your streaming experiences as a consumer, they use it and they personalize their experience for you. How critically it is turning out as a beautiful experience for user. Backing on statistics, right? So they try to personalize the viewing experience for user. They did a very good understanding of user, and they're continuously innovating in that. Again, so very good transition from DVD rentals to a streaming platform. This is my favorite example. How the first toothbrush for child was designed. अभी next video तो खुद से बच जाएगा ना? Thank you.
About 10 years ago, we got approached by one of the largest oral health care companies in America, a company you've probably heard of called Oral-B, and they said, look, we'd like a new kids' toothbrush because ours is starting to get commoditized. It looks like a lot of kids' toothbrushes out there, and you can't have that. We want to be special, right? So we say, okay, we'll do this. We want to go out in the field and do some field research. And they're kind of not sure about that. Like, it's not rocket science. We're talking about kids brushing their teeth. How hard could that be, right? They would really like us to stop fooling around and start designing, right? But we want to go through this process, this observation process, because we think almost always you can spot opportunities. And so we go out, and we're on like the first day of observations, and we make a small discovery. The small discovery we make is that every kid's toothbrush in the history of the world has had the same implicit assumption. It's a logical assumption, it just isn't exactly right, which is the assumption always was parents have big hands, kids have small hands, and so when you want to make the kids' version, make it like the parents' brush, only smaller and skinnier. Perfectly logical until you go out in the field. Until you actually watch humans, little tiny humans, brushing their teeth. And what you notice right away, you get a 5-year-old boy brushing his teeth, he's not holding his toothbrush in his fingertips the way mom and dad do, he's fisting it. He's holding it like this because he doesn't have the dexterity, he doesn't have the fine motor controls that his parents have, and so he's got to hold it like this. In fact, the other thing he does is he holds the brush too far up very frequently, and so he's punching himself in the face as he's trying to brush his teeth, and we solved that problem too. But the main thing was, came back in the field and said, uh-oh, kids don't need little skinny toothbrushes, kids need big fat toothbrushes, right? Let's make them big fat squishy toothbrushes. And you may have noticed, now every toothbrush company in the world makes these, but our client reports that after we made that little tiny discovery, out in the field, sitting in a bathroom watching a 5-year-old boy brush his teeth, they had the best-selling kids' toothbrush in the world for 18 months. So when you think about power, when you think about, credibility, if you could go out in the field and do that observation and come up with that finding, and your company, your organization was the best in its field for 18 months afterwards, would that be worth it? I think that would be worth it. And so that's this message about think like a traveler, be an anthropologist, use your powers of observation, have that part of your brain turned up as high as you can all along.
How do you feel about it? Was that, you think it could not have been done without an observation? बच्चे का हाथ छोटा है, छोटा तुरंत बना दो, काम हो जाएगा. Gut feeling, लेकिन असली में गलत. So there are so many things that we only get to know when we observe a user. I think now you have a fair idea that what is design thinking and how impactful it can be. So let's come down to the phases of design thinking. The first phase is empathy. Now you need to listen to me very carefully. The first phase is empathy, where we understand about the user whom we are designing for. If you are designing for women in rural India, you observe them. If you are designing for a child's toothbrush, you observe child's behavior with that activity that you are designing. If you are designing for brushing activity, you need to observe them brushing. That's as simple as it. Then the second phase goes to once you are done collecting all the information you can with the activity that your product is going to be a part of and about the user, you go back to the second phase where we try to frame questions and where we try to understand the product, the problem statement you are trying to solve, is that even a problem statement for a user? If you are building a child's toothbrush, you need to know, is there a problem with toothbrush first of all? Do you even really need to build that? So you try to frame the questions based on your understanding in the phase one, and then you try to ideate. Once you have gathered enough understanding, once you have validated that, yes, that's a problem, We need to solve it. Then we come to the ideate part where we try to brainstorm. And here it is very important that we do not try to narrow down the solutions, but we try to wide it up. You think crazy, you go wild with all the suggestions and ideas you can collect with your team, and then we try to narrow it down that how much of that we can try. And then again you try to build something that you can show and get it tested. For example, अगर आपका टूथब्रश अगर बन गया है बच्चों वाला तो आप उनको बोलो कि आप ट्राई करेंगे ये and get it validated before building it for lakh people. Right? That's a prototype. You try to build a presentation, a mimic one, a wireframe if you're building a UI. Then you try to get it validated and then you do the actual testing once you are done with bunch of iterations. एक solution बना के test नहीं करते. Ideally हम लोग 3-4 proposals बनाते हैं कि क्या अगर ये नहीं चलेगा तो ये चलेगा. The good thing about this multiple versions of solution, something in version A may not be liked by them, but something in version 2 would be good, and then we can merge a couple of solutions and we can build something that would be actually useful product. Now it's important to take a pause and is this understandable? Do you think this is, makes sense? क्योंकि यही करना है हमको हमारे वो 4+ स्टार लाने के लिए. Shall we move on? Yeah? Okay. This is the last one. No more videos after this.
When Google first
Google का है ना तो एक Google का बनाना पड़ेगा.
expanded maps to India in 2008, there was a problem. Imagine you're in Pune, India, and you wake up hoping to get some aloo paratha for breakfast. You route to the closest paratha restaurant, and you see this. Huh? Street names were the foundation of Google Maps. But in India at that time, nobody used street names. Many streets did not have names or had multiple names. This was before phones had accurate GPS, so unless you had a physical compass with you telling you how far you've traveled, directions on Google Maps were pretty much useless. Also, this problem was not unique to India. In Japan, most streets don't have names. Instead, people navigate with numbers and city blocks. It's the same in Mannheim, Germany. Cool, we're adding letters to numbers now, but everything is still measured in blocks. For those places, street names weren't really a thing. That's a problem for Google Maps, and they better fix it quick. Starting with India, this is how Google Maps addressed the street name problem. Dude, last week was tough. So many fire drill projects. Yeah, let's hope this week is chill. Anyway, any news to share? Anyone? I taught my puppy to sit. Aww. Cool. I baked cookies for my nephew. Wow. Maps does not work in India. Aww. Wow. Wait, what? Yeah, what? Yeah, it's bad. Fire drill. Bruh. This is Olga, a UX researcher, and this is Janet, a UX designer. It was their job to solve India's street name problem. These Googlers knew that people around the world used landmarks to navigate. For instance, one might say, oh, you want to get aloo paratha? Okay. Over there, yeah. Walk past that store with the evil cat, turn left, keep going straight, and turn right at the water fountain. Wait, how do people use landmarks to navigate in India? What types of landmarks help navigate anyway? To answer these two questions, Olga and Janet boarded a flight, flew to India, and started to find the answer in kind of a scrappy way. Here's what happened. They called businesses and asked them for directions to their stores. They asked people to draw diagrams for familiar routes. And they even followed people around as they navigated unfamiliar places. Although the plan was kind of scrappy, a bit DIY, it worked. Here's why. Through this hands-on, ground field research, they found that navigating India involved 4 critical things. Number 1, orientation. Head towards the water. Number 2, description of a turn. Turn just past the big bazaar. Number 3, confirmation of the right path. You'll see a patrol station on the right. And number 4, error correction. If you get to the roundabout, you've gone too far. With these 4 elements, the team worked several iterations for Google Maps. And this is the final solution. It took full advantage of landmarks. For example, additional cues were included, such as pass by, insert landmark, They also very subtly included road names when it was available. You can actually see this for yourself right now. On your laptop, your phone, go to Google Maps and set directions from, say, Nagpur to Mumbai. You'll see these pass-by directions in blue text. If you set directions in a place that do not rely on landmarks as much, like the United States, chances are these additional cues disappear. That's because the US uses street names and address numbers as its main navigational cue. So here, Google successfully localized maps. They made a global, very popular product, fit local users and their needs. Whether you're building an app, a website, software, and you want to make sure that users will actually use it, you want to do user research. And you don't need to test with fancy equipment or 5-year longitudinal studies. Janet and Olga shows that sometimes the most scrappy methods are the best methods. As a UX designer, when I'm localizing a design, I might ask, how can I get as close as living the life of the user as possible? What struggles do they actually face? And how are they already working around a problem that I'm trying to solve? In this case for Google Maps, it's the use of landmarks. To better localize products and solve real problems, the key is to ask the right questions, know who to ask, and have answers inform a tailored solution. The source of this video is Elizabeth Laraki, former UX design lead for Google Maps.
She's not my friend, but I'll tell you, clap for her. So, you would have heard the phrase called step into user's shoe, right? That's exactly that. You try to live a day like them and you will see, you will have a lot of observations. Now, take your phones out and quickly scan this QR. It's not a fishy, scammy, anything asking for money, not at all. This is the template I created for all of you, which works for my organization. And I try to make it a very versatile way that you can use it too. If you're a designer, it would be a great takeaway. If you needed something like this, or if you are a product manager or a developer, and if you're trying to build a side project, a personal project, something like that, you can use this as well. Right? We'll follow it together, and we'll achieve the goal finally. Give me an app which is below 3-star reviews. You know any apps which is less than 3-star reviews? No? Don't say Zomato, okay? Any apps that you know which has below 3-star reviews? Or 3.5, let's say. नहीं यार, आप इतनी apps तो आप लोग develop करते हो. आपकी अपनी app में तो नहीं बताओगे? हाँ? PVR Cinema. Okay, let's check. Let's check. Sir, it has 4-star reviews. I'm so sorry. Jio Cinema. Okay. भाई वो तो गुजराती का है. It has 3.6 with 19 lakh reviews. 3.5 से नीचे बताइए ना. आसान काम करते हैं ना थोड़ा पहले दिन. टॉक में क्या फजीती कराऊं मैं अपनी. अरे अमीर लोग की बात नहीं कर सकते हो. Goodreads. Okay. Is it the correct spelling or modified one? અરે ખબર મને લાગતું હતું કે એવું હશે પણ એવું નથી. એસબીઆઈની દરેક એપમાં 4 થી વધારે રિવ્યુઝ છે, 4 થી વધારે સ્ટાર છે. અહીંયા કોઈ છે કે એસબીઆઈ વાળા? જો કેવું કે સાહેબ. So Goodreads are 3-star reviews, good candidate to study. Without installing, let's see what we can do about it. So if me and you together are designing this app, how would we improvise the user experience of this app? Do you think better user experience can lead to bigger revenue as well? Do you think that? Then we are doing a good job. So let's go through first 5-6 reviews and let's try to find the common feedback that users have given about it. Don't read the one where Gauri says this app is my lifeline. Could be paid review. Oh, I won't say it now. Otherwise, people in Amazon, no, they'll get offended. So, did you read the second review where someone has suggested, could you guys do two things? Give an option to enlarge the book cover and see it up close, kindly like sorts, kind of like Spotify. So people give reviews, people give suggestions as well in the app feedback only. So if we would do it, the first person has written, I have been on this app for a few years now, I'm getting transferred to all my books to another book tracker. There are a lot of issues. And this app aside, not being user-friendly. Recently, I've had a lot of books. Okay. I'm sorry, Nida. I'm not able to find quickly. अभी मेरा talk खत्म करना पड़ेगा मेरे को इतनी देर में. अपन दूसरी app पकड़ते हैं. How about you go through an app called Radiant AI Photo Video Editor. Search on Play Store. Radiant AI Photo Video Editor. All of you have scanned the template, right, that we can go through? Haan. Ekdam perfect candidate for us to criticize or to improve. 2.9 star, 289 reviews, which is good enough to build a lot of statistics. Go through the reviews quickly. Or maybe you would want to put a filter of recent reviews only. Do you see one where it is written, can't find the setting to turn off for auto renewal, right? You got the setting, right? You got the feature which you need to fix. You need to make it visible, easily visible how to stop it. A lot of happy stories are there as well. You see one where it is written, dynamic certificate is expired, and a lot of people had shared review about it. So that's a common problem, right? So that's how we start. Now let's discuss. We pick an app. We pick our own app if we are improvising that user experience. We go through the feedback. We try to, capture the common feedback that how can we pick this one and what can we do about it. And if you find a feedback which is like निबंध लखी दी दो सकते हैं, ऐसे लिख दिया है पूरा. Feel free to see if you can speak to that customer and know about it, know more about it. And then have a clear understanding of what was the experience that person had. And then you try to build solutions about it. Once you have some potential solutions, you go back to some other users and see, hey, do you think this can be a solution? Going back to the earlier phases, right? And then validating if that solution can be something that can help. So अभी ये तो नहीं कर पाएंगे हम 4 star, लेकिन I hope आपको पता चल गया कि कैसे कर सकते हैं, right? I have very limited time, so I need to quickly move on. I became a designer from an engineer, so I wrote an article about it. So anyone in your friends or family are aspiring designers or were looking for free resources, you might want to share this article with them. I got this in my previous talk at DevFest Bangalore last year, and a lot of people asked for that resources. So I thought it might come to some help for you. Once you're done scanning, I'll move on to the next one. निदा ने बोला था, मैं नहीं बोलूँगी. हो गया. All right, that's from me. Thank you so much for listening to my talk and attending here. My username is pretty much same on all social medias. If